All right, guys, welcome back to 900 Pro Shop Bowling Ball Reviews. Today we have the Hammer Special Effect, and just a little bit about this ball so far. I've had it for a week, and it is special. Out of box, 300, 803 for the set, and with 4-game league, so it was 1025. So first time that this year or season I shot 3, 8, and 1,000, so it's good to do it all in one shot. But this ball, from what I'm seeing so far, is literally everything, and I have it with me today. My original Hammer effect as well. It's everything I wanted to complement the two. So they kind of work very, very well hand in hand. For those that like the effect line more than the envy line or vice versa, at least you have an idea in general understanding of the shape and motion. They are relatively different between the envy line and the effect line. Personally, I think the effect cores are a lot bigger, so it's kind of slows down. It's a more round shape where the envy cores want to hook a little more, which is also what I found between the effect tour and some of the people found with the envy tour. So today I'm going to be comparing the three effects, essentially. The special effect, the original effect, and the effect tour. Just going to get some shots thrown so you guys can see the shape of the ball first, and then we'll elaborate from there. Very standard. This time it's a fresh house shot, so I'll give you a little bit more right. So yeah, luckily we got Kennedy Bowl here in Scarborough. They help us out a lot. They oil the lanes for us, and today they know we're throwing some heavy hitters, so that allowed us to kind of freshen up the lanes, and they oiled it freshly, nice for us. Yeah, so far, obviously that one, the ball split the 8-9 perfectly. It's a rounder shape than the original effect from what I'm seeing, which is why I say it complements very well, because sometimes the out-of-box effect, the original one, it's obviously pearl, comes out of box shiny. This one comes out of box shiny as well, but it's a solid. So what that means is it's trying to read the mid lane a lot earlier because of the cover stock. And when it's too fresh for the original effect where it's not reading the mid lane, I can get in trouble. So sometimes I got to use it in transition or like heavier oil patterns where I'm keeping my angles more in front of me and then just relying on the angle from the effect to kind of pop in and carry. This one just lets me start to see that rounder shape sooner. So I don't need to sand the original effect like I do sometimes from time to time, depending on the challenge pattern I bowl on. So that's why I'm so far a huge fan of the shape. Amazing too, so. But yeah, so a lot of the times now with all brands, and it's not just Hammer, but Hammer too, all the brands come out with all these out-of-box covers, and it just, sometimes I've got to fidget with a lot of them. And it's just because they like to do a lot of the shelf appeal. So some balls come essentially way too dull. Even this Hammer Effect Tour, right? Like out-of-box, that thing was way too dull, rolled at my toes, and it was almost unusable if I needed to go into a tournament right away with it. And that's probably why I had a lot of success with this one out of box. It's because it didn't do the stereotypical solid shape cover or out of box cover where it comes out like 1,000 or 1,500 and it's so fresh and it just rolls so early. It comes with a sheen. I didn't have to touch it. It's already in play right away. And that shape is just so predictable. So it's just like it, love it. House shot, like, because I need to create angle a lot. So it kind of does a little bit of both. And prior to this ball on house shot, I was throwing a lot of the Ebonite real time. And same idea, right? It's got that polished cover. And it's just more out of box ready for you. And it's just, sometimes people don't believe it, but you do need to play with surface because sometimes the out of box is more for shelf appeal. It's telling you the ball wants to hook, the ball wants to snap, vice versa. So it's just, you got to play around with your surface, with your covers. It's not necessarily as out of box always the finish that you want to stick with or start with, or the ideal one, we'll call it. Okay, so I'm gonna move around just so we can see a different spot on the lane and see what it does, kind of thing. Just because of how hard it's coming through the pins and how much is already hooking, I'm just gonna test my limits and move left. It's gonna hop right to and move like 8 left. Right now I'm currently standing on 25, sorry. I drift a little bit, so almost 30 with my feet at the end. Crossing around 17, so look at 20. Slow it down a bit, obviously, to give it a chance, but let's get it all the way out there and see what angle it gives me. Okay, so you can see when I got deep, play the bigger angle, it's like I said, the shape is round, so it doesn't make it back, which doesn't surprise me at all. It's a very good, smooth hook and ball, but it won't cover the angles. So if you're expecting that like a pearl motion where it's trying to recover all the time, realistically speaking, that spot I probably smell like the Black Widow Mania or the original effect. Something that just covers more angles. So this ball is more like an out of the box or a rounder shape. Sometimes you do need a round shape in the middle, especially when the outside gets really, really torched. Let me adjust my release a little bit, add a little rotation to see if I can get the ball to come back or fabricate the ball to make it back from that corner. Right, and maybe I missed a little right, but at the same time I added that rotation. It allowed the ball to kind of come back in a better angle to get it back and kind of make that corner and turn that it didn't before. The one before, 810, 2-810. Nonetheless, it didn't have a chance coming back at all. But here's the thing. I'm gonna now move really right with it just to see what it'll do if I flatten my wrist, right? So let's go to 18. I'm gonna look around 12. Obviously, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Take my wrist out of it a little bit, stay flat on it. Got it to 10. Got lucky with that one. Missed it wide for sure, but see if stay forward with it. The ball kind of wants to stay in a roll because like I said, the court's so big, it just gets in a roll so early. It holds the line better because it's essentially you're almost playing like a rollout at that point. You're just kind of letting the ball get in a roll, go forward. Throw a better one than that one. Got away with it. A little wider than I wanted it to be. That's better. So yeah, that was way better. That's kind of where the intended line was. So a little faster, a little flatter on the hand. Cut the rotation on it. Like I said, you see the ball kind of roll up really quick. Stay smooth, stay forward. So that release or the way that ball's gonna react like that, it's not gonna corner. So you can always manipulate your hand to get the shape you want. Obviously, that's a tool that a lot of people should be working on. But two, it just kind of shows what it's able to do on a fresher house condition. It allows the people that kind of want to play up the track versus people really want to loop it, people in the middle. So personally, it allows me to start with the ball. I want to be comfortably where I was when I first threw my first couple of shots, around 18, 17, somewhere around there. Crossing it, throwing it outside, around 8, 7, even 5 I can get away with on a typical house shot. So you're able to get it out there, get it come back, and then slowly migrate in. Especially when the middle part of the lanes usually have a little bit more oil. You can kind of tighten that up as you go, so it's not like, you don't want to keep the steep angles, because you'll see what happened is when I made that first jump to the left, if I don't make the hand position adjustment, it's never going to come back unless there's very definitive friction out there and you're again playing maybe potentially a rollout because the ball is strong and all that. So first of all, let's compare it with the original effect, okay? So I'm gonna throw it right on top of where I first threw the ball before I made that 8-board jump and hand position change, just so you have an idea on what it's gonna do. Pretty close. I mean, end of the day, it's the same core, right? So the cover itself, it's got a little more games on it, obviously, compared to the special effect. But you can see it's kind of getting a little further down lane, in my opinion. It's coming sharp. Wrap to 10, kind of expected. I could change the hand position. I could do a little bit of tweaks here and there to make it less sharp, but that's just a stock shot versus a stock shot, so you have an idea on what it's doing. So it's a little bit quicker shape off the back. So I'm just gonna make a quick 2-in-1, not much. Just give it a little bit more room for the angle. right? I'm gonna be in the oil a little bit longer, so it looks like the ball didn't even pick up. But at the same time, it's giving us more room for that angle to happen. Light mix, kind of expected. Like I said, it's going a little cleaner, so it's pushing cleaner into the heavier volume, so it's going to go a little longer, but the angle is gonna be a lot better that way. I'm gonna move where the special effect ended, 8 left of where I started, around 33. So like I said, I'm gonna slow it down a bit. I'm not gonna change my hand position yet, just to see if it'll try to make it back naturally because it's a pearl. See what happens. Right, and that's like literally the first shot I threw the special effect that deep and it 2-8-10'd on me. So the difference is that ball, cover stock as it is, it's pearl. It's gonna wanna make that corner and that turn a lot sharper, recovering from the outside angles a little bit better. So I don't even need to over-rotate the ball to get it back. And that's why, personally right now, I got a good complement going on between the two. It allows me to kind of do the shapes a little bit better. The Envy series, so right now I have in my bag, I still have the Pure Envy, Envy Tour. I just retired my Extreme Envy, but those balls are, overall they hook a little bit more than the Effect series, and I think it's just because the Effect core is physically a little bit bigger. The Huntsman core is earlier and smoother and more rounder as a shape versus the Envy core. So on more challenge patterns, I think these will come into play a lot easier and a lot better. The special effect does remind me a little bit of my 3D offset assault, which I didn't bring out to practice today. But lastly, I'm gonna throw is the Effect Tour. So if you can see it, this one's pretty well shined up now. And generally speaking, if I'm bowling on a house shot, that's kind of what I need. Like I said, if I bowl on a challenge pattern or anything like that, I'd probably sand this thing to at least 1,000, 1,500 to get that sheen off. All I wanted to do is really read the mid lane. But if I throw on a house shot, I'm probably gonna plaque 10 forever. Overall, I think this ball is a little smoother and weaker over, and it's just not gonna cover as many boards, and with the polish, it's not gonna roll as early. I'm expecting a light mixer or even a washout shot here. But it is the first shot I threw with the special. And that's kind of where I had it, assuming it was gonna sit anyway. So it went through, it's clean, doesn't even try to you don't even see it looking like it wants to make that turn in. And I mean, that's why we like it. That's why it's a tour ball. It's one of those control the mid lane, control the break point kind of shapes. It reads the mid lane and then it kind of labors out a little bit, stay more forward on the pattern. So I'm just gonna move right with it just to line up with it. Probably gonna go 4 right. See what happens. All right, I can access that outside friction. Did miss a little right again, but I can access that outside friction a little more because as soon as that ball picks up, it kind of sets up, it locks up a little bit, and that's kind of how we want to control the friction sometimes when the friction gets a little bit crazy. And you know, that's why I like this ball. So they all have its own reasons, right? And they all have its own uses. So sometimes people are like, why do you have 10 balls in your arsenal? I'm like, they all do something different, really. I'm gonna try that again, maybe throw a little bit better. Let's not get it so wide. That's better. Okay, that was better. I rotated that ball a little bit. Other than that motion was more definitive. You can see that if I'm getting into the friction earlier, it gets into a stance earlier and it kind of reads that better. If I want to control it, like I said, I probably want to put a little bit of surface on it. But if I'm just trying to use it on a house shot, I do want to be a little left of everyone on the track. Get as much angle as this thing would, actually, and kind of go from there. But let's split the difference on the move, just so I can find where I would ideally play this ball, at least, from my own knowledge. Wide. Yep. So get it wide to the friction, get it a lock up, like I said. And that's kind of what I would do in terms of where I am. And realistically, it was a parallel move, so it was like a 3 and 3. So I kept my eyes and moved it with me. I didn't actually square up as I did. When I did square up, it went through the face. So when a parallel move got the break point a lot wider, it just got into the friction, locks up a lot sooner. So I can kind of control that part a little bit, because if I play it a little bit in front of me, sees the friction, it still wants to go with the shine on it. And if I play it too wide, doesn't get into friction early enough, it doesn't really start up or lock up the angle. So right now, that's kind of where I have the 3 balls lining up. I probably have the special effect, we'll call it. It rolls probably the earliest in the given condition of the cover stock. The effect tour may be a little earlier if I sand it, but I haven't sanded the special effect to know as well. So one thing to experiment on in the future. But I have it, you know, hooking the earliest, probably a little rounder in terms of board coverage. I have the hammer effect tour with this cover, with the shine on it. It's got a little bit cleaner down lane, stays smooth off the back, so it's not, you know, crazy off the spot. And then the original effect, I got the original effect here. I got the ball going cleaner than the special and coming off the spot a little bit harder than the special. So all 3 of ball has those spot in the bag right now, and it's really how you like to see the shape as an individual to say which ball, you know, suits you. It's more or less I'm giving you the information as if you had any one of these 3 or anyone is comparing to purchase one over the other, then you're gonna have that information. So I'm gonna throw a last couple with the special effect here and we'll wrap it up. All right, let me try to throw a messenger. I'm just gonna move a couple left. Go light on the pocket. Yeah, all right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll do another video shortly with the hammerhead, so stay tuned. Thank you.